Hello once again, YouTube. Chris the Number here, bringing you some StarMade New Eden Fleetworks. Not station reviews, but New Eden Fleetworks. So, today we are taking a look at more of the Heron information. This will be a quick little tutorial or informational video on what you can expect from these ships. As I mentioned in the last episode, there is a complicated setup for how you guys are going to be using these ships. They are specifically designed for this purpose and the purposes that you will see in this video, so it does require a little bit of explaining, and it will grant you guys in the future a lot of customization when it comes to your ships. So, let's get into it. As you can see, I have the Heron in front of you. In between this and the last episode, I managed to upgrade this systems with a better efficiency. There's better thrust, there's better shield capacitor amount, better power regen and shield regen on this ship now, along with, overall more efficient setup on the inside. Lots of changing around, and I learned a few things in the process, because honestly I don't deal with this type of stuff often. But I'm going to show you what is on these informational panels right here. Now, this may not be everything that I ever put on these informational panels, but these pretty much tell you everything you will need to know about the ship. Quite literally everything you will need to know, or at least the most general sense of what you guys need to know. So, the first bit of information on this is ship characteristics. And as we can see, that we have the words small, exploration, and shields, right? So what this means is that these three tags kind of apply to this ship. Different ships will have different characteristics. For example, small means that this is a small ship and that it equips small modules, right? There are 4 different sizes of modules, ranging from small to extra large. Extra large would be for capital ships, small is for frigates and destroyers, medium is for cruisers and battle cruisers, and large is for battle cruisers and, well, partially battle cruisers and battleships, right? So those are the ranges of the module sizes. And on here we can see that this ship, it's telling us that this ship equips small modules. The next bit of information is its role, and this doesn't exactly tell us the role, it tells us what this ship can be used as, and it's an exploration ship. So there are bonuses, and we'll get to those in a moment, but there are bonuses to this ship that pertain specifically to the role of exploration. Now, in terms of StarMade, that's not exactly implemented, but I'll give examples of what you can expect from ships that can utilize this type of bonuses in this ship systems and stuff. Lastly, the last characteristic for this ship is shields, and that basically means that this ship, and this race in particular, the Caldari, use shields extensively on their ships, more so than the other nations or races that I'll be working on. Certain ships take on damage either with their shielding or their armor. The Galente have, from what I understand, the highest internal armor, which is called structure. So, there's different ways to tank the armor, and the Caldari use shielding. So that's why that word is up there with the ship characteristics. So, next we move on to frigate bonuses. Now, this applies specifically to this ship, Caldari frigate. This is a Caldari frigate. Overall, these are just general bonuses. They're all going to be general bonuses. There's not going to be anything like skill bonuses and stuff like that, because StarMade doesn't have skills. But basically, I'm just going to put these bonuses up here so you guys can see what they would be, even if they aren't on the ship themselves. For example, 7.5% bonus to core and combat scanner probe strength. I know that's misspelled. Don't tell me that it's misspelled. I know. So what does that mean? Well, in EVE, you use scanner probes to track down anomalies in space, and you are able to then warp to those anomalies once you have scanned down the location enough. And in terms of StarMade, that doesn't apply. But let's say instead of a 7.5% bonus to scanner probes, let's say that we got a bonus to the damage on hybrid turrets. What does this mean? And in fact, there's a 5% reduction in salvager duration. So what does this mean? Well, let's say I have a salvager equipped to this ship. Let's say I have a salvage turret docked to the ship. And now this is just an example, so bear with me. right? That 5% bonus relates to the module. So a turret, for example, is got a turret dock. This is technically a high slot module, right? It's a part of the equipment that you fit on the ship that allows you to do things like shooting things or mining or, you know, giving boost to your shields, right? So let's say I have a salvager gun attached right here, right? If I want to equip the bonus from, you know, the ship stats, there will be, you know, additional little salvager blocks embedded in the ship hull, right? They'll be close to the actual docking unit or close to the module compartment, right? And basically what you do is you attach the module, and then you take the computer and you link it to the additional blocks. That's all you do, and therefore you get a bonus to that equipment. Because think of it this way. Let's say I have two different ships. Let's say I have this ship and then I have ship number 2. Ship number 1 has the bonus, which means that if I equip a turret to it, then I can attach those additional blocks, right? I can attach those additional blocks. But ship number 2 doesn't have those blocks, right? Which means that it's wiser to attach the turret to this ship instead of that ship, because it's going to operate better. It's going to have more power, or it's going to be more efficient, or overall it's just going to be a boost to the module that you attach to the ship. So that's basically the concept of these bonuses, right? And that is a second layer of customization and roles applied to ships that you guys will get when you download my ships, as well as the module packs. So, for example, you know, the 7.5% bonus to core and combat scanner probe strength does not apply to StarMade. However, I have made room for it in the ship. This would be the module compartment where you place the module directly associated with, well, this one is specifically tied to Relic and Data Analyzer virus strength. Again, that does not apply to StarMade yet because there is no such thing as hacking. But there it is, roll bonus. 5+ bonus to Relic and Data Analyzer strength. So what I would do is I would place all these black lights with the modules, and then you would place the module in the compartment and take the computer from the module and hook it up to the additional blocks. And therefore, it would make more sense for you as a player to attach those modules to this ship specifically, because it's meant to be used for exploration. It's meant to use these modules. So, essentially, that's what all the bonuses mean, and I can explain that a little bit further in the when I get over to this section over here. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video than usual, so bear with me. So next we have fitting. So what does all this mean? And this is pretty basic stuff. It doesn't get very complicated. We have 2T/2M, and what that means is this ship is designed to equip either 2 turrets or 2 missile launchers, or a combination of the both. Now, I cannot force you guys to abide by these rules. Sometimes you have, for example, 3 high slots. Turrets and missile launchers are high slot modules, right? So you can equip 2 turrets and 1 missile launcher, or 2 missile launchers and 1 turret, or 1 turret and 2 completely separate modules that are not turrets at all. For example, energy neutralizers are high slot modules, and I will be designing them so that they act as turrets, right? Because currently any of those are not designed to look like turrets, they're just invisibly placed on your ship, right? So I cannot force you guys to use this according to the rules, because there are some exceptions. For example, there will be a crap ton of docking units, right, on the ship, but there will technically only be 3 high slots, or 2 high slots, and you'll be able to fit more turrets on the ship than are actually capable of being put on the ship in Eve. I'm not gonna, like, try and... I mean, I can't stop you guys from doing that, so I don't really care. So, 3 high slots, 5 medium slots, and 2 low slots. And the 3 high slots are the turret docks, right, on the ship. The medium slots are inside the ship. This is a medium slot, this is a medium slot. There are, again, I believe 5 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, in the future... Nope, that's not the 5th one. This is the 5th one. In the future, I'll be color coding this with colors. And basically, if I come back in here, the low slot modules will be green, the medium slot will be orange, and the high slot will be red. The bonus blocks will be designated by black lights, although by then you will be getting actual modules in place of that instead of the black lights. So don't worry about that too much. But keep in mind that it goes in order from least amount of power to highest amount of power from green to red, okay? So that's basically that. Rigs, this says 3R, that stands for rigs. In the future, I will also release the ship with specifically with templates, right? These templates are, you know, additional like sections of hull that you can attach to the ship. It's going to be like, you know, a framework. It's going to like attach to the ship. It's going to add bulk to your ship. They're going to be specific to the ship that you are using. And what you do is you have rigs, and then you're going to have rig modules. And basically what these are, you know, additional sections of hull that they kind of, you know, make you a little bit heavier, and they're a little bit bulkier, and they kind of make your ship a little uglier. But they provide more bonuses and another level of customization. Rigs and modules in EVE are separated. They're not the same thing. But essentially in StarMade they will act the same. You'll attach them to the ship at specific areas. As much like you would for the modules. So, now I can give you a better visualization of what these modules do and what they are and stuff like that. So let me come over here, slow as I may. Did I just like teleport? I can't tell if I just like teleported or something. Or glitched into another direction. I looked away just as that happened. So here we can see that this is the module size for the low slot, the medium slot, and the high slot. And this is just the sizes for the frigates and destroyers. These are the small module sizes, right? And of course, again, they come in 3 different power levels, depending on what type of machine they are. Here is an example of a low slot module for the small category. And basically how this would operate is there's going to be a rack, right? There's going to be a rack of machines. They're all going to be very similar. They're all going to be varying degrees of capability. For example, there's going to be shield rechargers on one rack. And depending on how much money you're willing to spend on your spaceship, you can take this, you can copy it, right? Let's see if I can copy this. That's too much. And we're going to do copy, and that. So we're going to copy this, and then we would paste it in place. Now I obviously don't have enough blocks there, but basically you paste it in place inside the ship. And I've marked, you know, the bottom section where you're supposed to paste it onto with hazard hull, right? And basically that's all it is. You just take a machine and you throw it into your ship. This Heron right here in front of you has 13,000 shields. This block of shield units adds about another 1,000. So, you know, some ships are definitely going to give you a boost. You know, you're going to get more out of it by doing stuff like that. You know, especially when it gets to larger ships, the impact is going to be very little on the small ships, but when I get to larger ships, the impact will be much higher. It will be much more worth it to, you know, try and determine what type of module you want to place, because they will quite literally be larger than the platform that I'm looking at. They will be, like, quite literally as large as the ship in front of you. That's how big the modules will be. So when you attach those modules, not only are they going to look cool, they're going to look like cool machinery that I've designed, but they're going to be freaking huge, and they're actually going to have a much larger impact on the larger ships. I just can't get away with it on the small ships. I'm trying to, you know, do the best I can with making them actually worthwhile, and making the ships themselves worthwhile flying, because the stats on them are kind of low when I try and, you know, implement this interior space designated for modules and customization. So it's a little difficult, but hopefully in the future it all works out. So that's essentially the concept. And again, you place down a module and you can connect it to additional blocks as designated by you know, the blocks that are nearby. There will be a computer monitor or a display module inside the module that is designed specifically for one of the bonuses. For example, roll bonus is 5+ to, you know, the analyzers. So if you want, if eventually StarMade were to get analyzers, you would take that module, you would place it in here. It tells you that this is the analyzer slot, and you would connect it to all the additional modules, and there you go, you've got a boost to that analyzer module. So, just to give you an idea of how many modules are in Eve, and this is, you know, not to scare you or anything, but just to give you an idea, these are all of the hybrid, no, not the hybrid, these are all of the railguns for the small category. All of them. These are all the railguns in Eve for the small size module category. This does not include all of the other types of guns and turrets and missile systems for the small category. There is a fuck ton of customization for these ships in Eve. I cannot guarantee that that level of customization or the differences in stats will carry over. I am certainly going to try and make certain weapons better, you know, and again, depending on how much money you're willing to spend on all these guns and all these modules, you know, you'll be able to choose, will I take one that's more powerful, or am I going to go into a fight and definitely die? Do I want to, you know, cheapen the load on my ship to make sure that I don't lose out on so many credits, you know? I mean, because in Eve, ships are considered ammunition. You don't use them like a precious, valuable spaceship that you know, try and keep alive forever. You throw this out into the middle of battle and you will die. So I'm hoping, you know, players kind of use it in that sense. They kind of use them recklessly. Because, again, I'm not using that much systems compared to other players. They will be cheaper compared to other players' spaceships of similar size. So, the last thing I wanted to mention or kind of explain right here was what's going to happen with turrets. And essentially, you're going to have two options when you get a turret. You're going to have the option to either use it as a turret and dock it to the turret dock, right? That makes sense. The bonus that you get with that is omnidirectional offensive capabilities. The turret is going to be able to swivel around, it's going to be able to shoot a ship behind you, you're not going to have to look at it, it will automatically fire at the enemy, right? On top of that, if you have a turret docked to your ship, and you're facing off against an AI or potentially another person, they're going to go for that turret, especially with the AI. The AI just goes after random cores. It doesn't specifically target the ship core, it will also target turrets, right? So if you're going up against an AI, you're going to face off with not only omnidirectional offensive capabilities, but you're going to get a little bit of a defensive bonus because the AI is going to go naturally for any turret it wants. It's not necessarily going to target you specifically inside the ship core. So that's the bonuses of attaching a gimbaled turret to your ship. Now, what if I take this turret... Oh, actually, hold on. Let me make sure that I have the correct size. We're going to copy this. I have to push that up by 2. So let's copy this turret. We're going to get off here. We're going to get back onto the build block, and let's say that this is the turret dock. What if I don't want to attach the turret like a turret? What if I want to attach it hard mounted to the hull of the ship, like so? Suddenly I have a fixed turret, a gun that is only capable of firing in one direction. What are the bonuses of this specific setup? Well, essentially, like I said before, there are bonuses to ship rolls. This is an exploration ship, but on combat ships, they have things like bonuses to turret damage. So what does that mean? It means that if you want, you can take the computer and you can directly link it to additional weapon modules built into the ship. Boom! I think I just blew all of your minds away with the level of customization that I'm granting you guys with my ships. It is something I don't think anyone has seen before in terms of, you know, ship modularization. And I think it's fantastic. So in terms of these two turrets, you've got not only a defensive bonus because of, you know, the fact that AI will not target you specifically, but also target your turrets, It comes with a price, you know, everything's weighed, you know, things you have to figure out. Do you want your turrets to be disabled? Do you want the omnidirectional capabilities of a turret? Do you want them to be able to swivel around and shoot? Do you want the bonus damage? Do you want to have to deal with directional cannons? On smaller ships, it's not a problem. I've tested both systems with this Heron, fully loaded out with the same turret, and I went up against a pirate with the same loadouts, and the opposite loadout, I went up against a pirate with gimbal turrets and hard-mounted turrets, right? And I was able to defeat them both times, but I noticed the differences. For example, if I had the gimbaled turrets, then damage was spread to all of my ship. If I had hard-mounted turrets, suddenly my core became the primary target, and I was suddenly under a lot of stress to try and take out the enemy's turrets and the enemy ship altogether quicker. That being said, I got bonus damage to my turrets. So, that's basically what I'm doing with this project. This is what I plan on doing with this project. Eventually, you'll be getting the modules for the ships, and I will start designing them as soon as the Eve modules update. Currently, Eve's modules are in the process of being upgraded and changed and sorted out so that there are less of them, and they are more specifically designed. Chances are you will not get this many turrets, but you will get, you know, maybe half these turrets, maybe a quarter of these turrets. I don't know yet. But it does look like they're sorting it out and, you know, making it so that there's not a billion of them to choose from, because the differences in between them are just not different enough. You know, they're not. Some of these turrets on this particular platform have the same exact stats, so that again is, you know, something that will get sorted out down the line. But there you have it, guys. I hope that explains it for you. I hope you understand. There will be a more official tutorial coming out with each of the packs, and each of the ships will get, you know, a little walkthrough of what they are featured, or what the features of this ship is. You know, all the fitting and all that stuff will be featured in its own video for each ship, and I'll kind of give you an idea as to what the ship is used for, and they will appear on the download page as well. So I hope you got some insight as to what I'm trying to do here, and if you want to see more of this stuff and, you know, get your hands on some really cool ships in the future, I suggest you hitting that subscribe button. Until then, I will see you all next time.